Shalom, shalom. All glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachakwadash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach the Bible correctly. Shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men. And shalom to the great peaceable multitude, the 1/3, the men, women, and children. Shalom. And to you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are the 12 tribes of Israel. You are Israelites. Israel means prince of the power. You are prince who is predestined to rule the world with powers. That's why King Yahweh Shai's kingdom, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai's kingdom, is an everlasting kingdom because it's going to be ruled by immortals. These are your true identities. And these are our identities given by our oppressors. But this is who you truly are. So for instance, I'm not Puerto Rican. Once upon a time I thought I was. But really I am an Ephraimite from the tribe of Ephraim. I am part of the northern tribe. Today's article is brought to you by SHTF, which means shit hit the fan plan.com. It is a Micah 2 and 2 update. And this article only proves who Esau Edom is today, even though he's already been revealed. But why not further push that vibration of revealing who Esau Edom is according to the scriptures and in what's going on in today's time? So today's title is U.S., which is Babylon the Great, may cease. I don't know how to pronounce this real quick. Bear with me.
Kharg Island.
Sorry if that sounded too loud. Kharg Island. Kharg Island. U.S. may cease Kharg Island on Monday. Coming up. This article came out yesterday on the Passover. Let's see. Let's look at the word cease real quick. Cease. Cease. To take. And that's why it's a Micah 2 and 2. That's a spirit. That's why it's Micah 2 and 2. Because Micah 2 and 2 says, and they covet fields and take them by violence. We'll stop there. Because we're going to read the article first, then we'll read the scripture. So this is them taking them by violence update. This article shows the characteristics of Esau Edom and who he is today. So, U.S. may cease Kharg Island on Monday. Let's see what happens. That's the island. Looks nice, right? Looks real deserty, though. You don't see a lot of greenery. But it's kind of neat how it's surrounded by water. It says, the United States, which is Babylon the Great, the United States ruler Donald Trump, which is Nero in the reincarnation, said that the U.S. military could cease Kharg Island on Monday, even as Iran has allowed 20 American oil tankers through the Straits of Hormuz. Look at that. So if that's true, Iran has allowed 20 American oil tankers through the Straits of Hormuz. If that's true, then Trump, you should just leave those people alone. Here it is, Iran has the power to allow 20 American oil tankers through the Straits of Hormuz, which is beneficial for Babylon the Great. It's beneficial for Babylon the Great's allies. It's beneficial for the consumers of Babylon the Great, the civilians of Babylon the Great, right? So why keep messing with these people or threaten to take them back to the Stone Age? Biblical prophecy, that's why you're wired to fuck with them, because it's all leading up to biblical prophecy. World War III. President Donald Trump shared a video on Truth Social on Monday sharing a military strike on Iran at night. Kharg Island is home to a major oil terminal that is considered the country's economic lifeline. In an interview with the Financial Times, as reported by the BBC on Sunday, Trump said he would take, quote unquote, take. That's why there's a Micah 2 and 2. And they, Esau Edom, covered fields like Kharg Island and take them by violence. All right. And we'll get back to that. Trump said that he wants to take. I know it sounds silly or over exaggerating when I say take, but that's just me having a little fun because this is a beautiful thing to see the prophecies pop out of these pages like popcorn. Prophecies pop out of the pages like popcorn. The quadruple P's. Prophecy, pop, pages, popcorn, right? Trump said he wants to take Iran's oil and was considering ceasing Kharg Island. But he added an operation, quote, would mean we would have to be there for a while, end quote. The United States had already targeted the island earlier during the war. On March 13th, the U.S. launched airstrikes on Kharg. It almost sounds like Larg. It's an inside joke. You know, if you're listening, you know who you are. You know what Larg is. We've bought eggs there before. All right? You know, hobby a thought, man. It says, with Trump saying U.S. forces had totally obliterated every military target there, but it held off targeting the island's oil infrastructure. But in 2025, Trump also claimed that the U.S. obliterated Iran's nuclear facilities. Perhaps he's simply unaware of what the word obliterated means. Moving on. Before we continue, I'm curious to know what this is saying. Trump, a spectacular military success. Iran's nuclear facilities have been completely and total obliterated. Okay, that's the article going into that statement. Moving on. Now remember, my YouTube channel, this is it right here, my YouTube channel. Fight of Faith 4. What happened to Fight of Faith 2, Fight of Faith 3? All at the same time. All those pages got permanently terminated without receiving a third strike. I've never received a third strike on Fight of Faith 2, and 3. I woke up one day in the morning and bam, they were all 3 terminated. Why? Because they accumulated over the months, year, 2 years. However, they accumulated a bunch of videos that I received for copyright strike. It's my fault because I didn't do what the elders do and what those under the elders do in Great Millstone, what they do when they upload another video to make a video, to comment on videos that don't belong to them. They do this is a copyright disclaimer, under the law of something. It's for educational purposes only, not for monetary gain or money gain. So I didn't do that. I just would upload videos that didn't belong to me, which were current events. They were edifying and they were, staying on my watch type videos, but I kept getting hit with copyright strikes. So I'm thinking, well, shit, it's not a strike, so I don't have to worry about my page getting torn down. But the problem is they accumulated so many of them that they just destroyed all 3 of my pages. Fight of Faith 2, and Fight of Faith 3. All I have is Fight of Faith 4. And my Rumble. And I say that to say this because I can only go 15 minutes on this page. Because my number is tied into so many old pages that if I were to put my number in here to allow me to go past 15 minutes, it's going to shut me down. It's not going to let you, your number is attached to way too many pages that are in the past that's shut down. So I can only do 15 minutes here. So after 15 minutes, I'm going to close out but I'm going to still be recording, and you're going to have to find the rest of the videos if you're interested in listening to the rest of the videos that I do. I'm going to go past 15 minutes, right? And you'll go to my Rumble page. So this is my Rumble page. It's Fight of Faith 4 as well. This is what the thing looks like. You know, my Rumble page. That's my Rumble page. Fight of Faith 4. 20 followers. I'm following all GMS, you know, GMS. You know what I'm saying? Israelites 4-3, which I listen to him a lot, man. He's on point. You know, he's literally an Israelite foreigner. He looks like a European, no joke. This dude looks like look at that. That's powerful, man. This is a Hebrew Israelite right here. This is a real life Israelite foreigner, and he's on point. He gives double honors to the elders, and he's on point. The Spirit is truly dealing with this gentleman right here. So let's continue on. It says, Trump did claim that it would be very easy to take the island in an interview with FT. Quote, maybe we take Kharg Island. Maybe we won't. We have a lot of options, end quote. So, that's why this is a Micah 2:2, because the word take keeps coming out in this article, and it's very spiritual and it's very beautiful at the same time, because it shows who Esau Edom is today and his characteristics. He fucking takes shit that doesn't belong to him. Quote, it would also mean we had to be there in Kharg Island for a while. I don't think they have any defense. We could take it easily. Just like he took the Native Americans, just like they took America from the Native Americans. It was very easy. They were very stronger military-wise. They had stronger armory. They had stronger weapons. They used diseases like smallpox and syphilis, to destroy the Native Americans here in Babylon the Great, which was called Ezerith back in the day before it was called America. They raped, robbed, murdered, used diseases to destroy us Israelites, but it's all part of the movie of Yahweh Shemi Shai's movie. We had to get conquered. We had to become the downtrodden, the outcast, and the Yahweh Shemi Shai had to lift up Babylon the Great to its peak condition, only to tear it down so Yahweh Shemi Shai can show his power. You know what I'm saying? It says here, it would mean that we would be there in Kharg Island. We already read that. Both the Pentagon and the White House have declined to comment on specific troop deployments on potential plans, but have repeatedly made clear that the option is available. Okay, this is another article. It says Pentagon may send 10,000 more ground troops to Middle East, suggests seizing Iran's islands. Man, I'm telling you, man, this is crazy, man. But in an amazing way, because it's like the closer we get to the end, the more the truth becomes so plain and just in plain sight. It says diplomacy is likely to fail as Iran has signaled that it won't give up as easily as the U.S. would prefer. Unfortunately, I only got 50 minutes left before it hits 15 minutes. If you want to catch the rest of this video, go to my Rumble. I'll leave the link in the description and YouTube to my Rumble. Trump could immediately take over the King Island, especially because it is starting to look like this war in Iran is over oil, much like his, quote, regime change in Venezuela. So that's the article right there. Okay? That's the article right there. And I asked How does GMS interpret Micah 2 and 2? Now, if you want to catch the rest of this part, I'll meet you in my Rumble. So you in YouTube, Lord's will you were edified. Shalom. See you in Rumble.